Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars and welcome to another PlayStation review. Today I'm taking a look at Border Police Contraband Simulator 2024. Now this is just come out on the PlayStation Store for PlayStation 5 and essentially it's another one of these simulator games. Now I cover a lot of simulator games on the channel and if you follow my content you'll know this. Some of my favourite simulator games are like the police simulators. They're rough round the edges. They're really rough to play sometimes, but you can have quite a lot of fun with them, even if, they are not what you would describe as highly polished games. And I was hoping that this was going to be along the same lines. Because essentially you play a border crossing officer. Your job is to check people's passport and permission to cross to the border. And you essentially, they will hand you over their documentation. You have got to check their name, the expiration date, and the document number to see if they all match. If they all match, that's the first part of the check complete. If they don't match, you could just reject them on the spot and they can't cross the border, but you don't arrest them because they've not really done anything criminally wrong. So you check these documentations and then you can put the tablet away, turn on like this special flashlight, and you can make your way around the car and look for contraband, basically. Drugs, things like that. And if they have this in their car, there's like this scorpion symbol appears. And if you see this scorpion symbol within the tyres or the seats, you can kind of basically open up the car doors, use your knife, cut through the seats and find the contraband. Once you've found the contraband, you get the person to exit the vehicle and arrest them, and then they will go into the jail. Now, beyond that, guys, that is it. Now, if this was a really, really, really cheap game, you could not necessarily forgive it, but you kind of accept it a little bit. If this was like $3.99 game or something like this, is $11.99 this game. And when you read the description, when you look at the PlayStation Store and read the description of how they describe this game, they've over-egged the pudding a little bit. Now, I'm going to be honest, guys, I've only really put in a couple of hours into this because I'm not going to waste any more of my time on it. Because, any game like this, these simulator games, they normally show you the capabilities of the game fairly early and the simulation aspects of the game fairly early. And then once they've kind of grabbed your interest, they kind of build on it a little bit later. I don't know if there's more to this game later. It talks about shootouts and all sorts in the description. Personally, I can't see it. And if there is shootouts, I would imagine they're going to be horrific beyond belief. I've seen enough of this game to know that I don't like it. I think it's poor, and I think it's a rip-off, and I think it is misleading people that are about wanting to buy these sort of games, because there's an audience for them. We know there's an audience for them. I know there is from the content that I put on my channel. Some of my simulator reviews can be some of my most popular. So I just think it's terrible that they can just do this. I mean, if you actually look at the trailer for this game as well in the PlayStation Store, they've egged that pudding as well, because there's voice in there. There's like a voice comes over a radio. You've got a voice actor telling them to move on, this kind of stuff. There's none of that in the game. There's no voice acting in the game that I have discovered. It's basically misleading marketing, and personally, I don't think it should be allowed. And the game is no more complex than how I've described it. You are basically, for the whole day from like the 8 in the morning or 9 in the morning till 6 o'clock at night, you are just checking vehicles, checking documentation, looking for contraband. If there is contraband, you arrest them. Rinse and repeat consistently for the rest of the day. And then that day finishes, a new day starts. At the beginning, they make an attempt for you to choose your character. You've got male and females to choose from, but you never see your character, so it means absolutely nothing, and there's no voice acting, so it's just a token gesture, really, to choose your character at the beginning. You constantly see the same characters turning up in cars with the same names. The makes of the cars are consistently similar. It just doesn't change it up enough for you to feel any kind of thrill at all. You know, sometimes these gameplay mechanics can be really addictive, and you want to carry on doing it because you like it, but there's nothing different really to check. There's nothing at all to catch you out. You're looking for contraband, basically drugs, and you are checking documentation and then moving them on through the customs. It's a poor game. It's poorly put together. It looks terrible, as you can tell. It sounds terrible. It's really, really rough to play. And like I say, a lot of these simulation games, you know, are fairly rough to play, but you can kind of forgive them because there's a certain charm to them, and you know, you can kind of immerse yourself in them a little bit. This one, it's so rough. It's so poorly made, there is no immersion here at all. You don't feel like a customs officer. You feel like you're in Groundhog Day, I suppose is the best way to describe it. So I can't honestly recommend this one, guys. I was hoping that this was actually going to be a little bit of a cheap, fun game to recommend to you, which is why I basically picked it up. I don't generally pick games up to think, oh, this will be a good review for the channel. I pick them up because they're games I want to play. But I'm reporting to you guys that this one is definitely not worth playing. I'm very, very disappointed with it, and I would suggest it is one to avoid. So that's why I've given it a 3 out of 10. Very poor indeed. So thanks for joining me for this review, guys. I hope you found it useful. I'll speak to you soon.